The ship fell from the sky like a dying star. No one saw it coming. No alarm, no warning. One moment, the sky was quiet. The next, a huge object ripped through the clouds and crashed into the hills outside the small human colony of New Reach. At first, people thought it was just a meteor. But when soldiers arrived and surrounded the area, everyone knew it was something else. Something dangerous. Captain Lena Torres stood at the edge of the impact zone. The ground still smoked from the crash. Strange pieces of metal, dark and curved like bones, were scattered all over. The ship didn't look human. It didn't belong to Earth. Her radio buzzed. "We found a survivor." Lena's eyes narrowed. "Alive? Barely. It's not human." Lena stepped carefully toward the crash site. The air smelled like burned plastic and ozone. Then she saw it. She was young, small, thin, not human but not completely alien either. 2 arms, 2 legs, big dark eyes. Her skin shimmered silver blue under the sunlight, and her face showed fear, pain, and confusion. "Get her to medical," Lena ordered. The alien girl opened her mouth and tried to speak. Her voice was weak, but her words were clear. "Wait. You breathe that toxic gas?" Lena froze. "What did you say?" The girl looked around, eyes wide. "Your air. It's poison." The medics rushed her away. But that sentence stayed in Lena's mind like a needle. Hours later, back at base, Lena watched the recordings again. The alien didn't act like an enemy. She acted surprised, like she didn't expect to be here at all. A scientist named Dr. Keller walked in. "We scanned the wreck. The tech is far beyond us. No weapons. Looks like a transport ship. Was she alone?" "No signs of other life forms, but this wasn't an attack. It feels like a mistake." Lena crossed her arms. "Mistake or not, we're already on edge. The world leaders are calling it an invasion." "They're wrong," Keller said. "This girl's body is weak in our atmosphere. Her lungs are not made for oxygen. If they were planning a war, they'd send warriors, not her." Lena looked at the screen again. The alien girl's face was filled with fear, not hate. But the rest of the world didn't wait for proof. 3 days later, another object entered Earth's orbit. Then another. And another. Hundreds. Giant ships, some the size of cities, surrounded the planet. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. People panicked. News channels screamed about an alien army. Military forces prepared for war. Nuclear weapons. We're armed. Then a message came. It wasn't spoken in any language. It was a pattern of light and sound, repeated again and again. The scientists finally cracked it. The message was simple. Return her or be erased. World leaders demanded answers. Lena stood in front of them, trying to explain. "We don't even know what they want. Maybe she's a diplomat. Maybe a lost child. If we give her back, we might avoid a war." But others didn't trust her. This could be a trick. We hand her over and they strike. What if keeping her is the reason they do strike? Lena replied. Tensions grew. Armies stood ready. Satellites tracked every alien ship in the sky. The alien girl who now called herself Sira recovered slowly. She didn't understand why humans were so afraid. She tried to explain that she came from a peaceful world. Her ship had a navigation error. She crashed by mistake. But her words were not enough. Lena visited her again. Tell me the truth. Is this a rescue mission or an invasion? Sira looked her in the eyes. I swear, I didn't mean to come here. I never even heard of your world before. But now, my people think you kidnapped me. Lena knew time was running out. That night, something unexpected happened. One of the alien ships moved. It descended into Earth's atmosphere and hovered over a major city. It didn't fire, but its shadow covered everything. The world held its breath. Lena sent a message to her commanders. We need to send her back, not as a prisoner, as a guest. As a bridge, are you willing to take that risk? One general asked. I'm not sure we have a choice, Lena said. Because if we get this wrong, there won't be a second chance. Outside the base, Sarah looked up at the alien ships in the sky. Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't come here to start a war, she whispered, but I think one has already started. And the world, watching from their screens, knew something big was coming. Something they didn't understand, but they would soon. The air inside the human base was cold, but Sarah sat still, trying to understand the people around her. They had kind eyes but scared hearts. Every time someone walked past her glass room, they looked in like she was dangerous. Some stared. Some whispered. Some even avoided looking at her at all. She didn't blame them. If she had crashed into her own world and seen a strange creature step out of a burning ship, she would have been afraid too. But fear wasn't the problem now. It was silence. No. One from her planet had sent a direct message. The ship stayed in orbit, quiet, watching, waiting. And then something strange happened. Sarah was dreaming. In her sleep, she saw colors, bright shapes moving fast as if underwater. She heard voices, soft and layered. She recognized them. They were her people. She woke up gasping. The room spun. Her skin flickered blue with stress. She looked toward the ceiling. You're trying to reach me. Dr. Keller rushed in when he saw her vital spike on the monitor. What happened? He asked. Sarah sat up. They're not speaking to you. They're speaking to me. What did they say? She closed her eyes. They asked if I'm safe. Dr. Keller looked worried. And what did you tell them? Sarah opened her eyes. I told them, I don't know. At that moment, Captain Lena entered. She had a file in her hand and a serious look on her face. We have a problem, she said. A military team broke into our communication server 2 hours ago. They tried to block all signals from orbit. Sarah stood up. Why? They want to control the message. Make it look like you're a threat. If they can't stop the alien fleet, they want to make sure Earth fires first. Sarah's voice shook. That's suicide. Your weapons won't stop them, Lena nodded. I know. Outside, news reports were getting louder. People were marching in cities. Some wanted peace. Others shouted for war. The fear was spreading like fire. At midnight, Lena made a decision. She went to Sarah's room and opened the door. Come with me. Sarah followed her through quiet halls. Soldiers looked up as they passed but didn't speak. They entered a dark room full of machines. A small device sat in the center, a transmitter. Where? Going to let you speak to them, Lena said. Directly. But I thought your leaders said, I'm not asking permission anymore. Sarah stepped forward. She placed her hand on the transmitter. Light filled the room. Her eyes glowed for a second, then turned calm. Her voice became strange, layered, not just her own. This is Sarah. I am alive. I am safe. Do not attack. These people ... are not all alike. Some want peace. Some are afraid. But fear is not a reason to destroy. Then silence. Dr. Keller stared at her. That was a powerful signal. If your fleet got it, they'll know what to do. Sarah whispered. I hope they believe me. The next morning, something unexpected happened. One of the alien ships left orbit. People panicked again. Military jets scrambled into the air. Missiles were armed, but the ship did not attack. It landed, not in a capital, not in a military base, but in a quiet field in the middle of nowhere, and it opened. Lena, Sarah, and a small team were sent to meet whatever came out. As the dust cleared, a figure stepped forward. He looked like Sarah, tall, glowing slightly, and calm. But older, stronger. Sarah stepped forward. Father. The alien nodded. You have changed." "They helped me," she said. "They're not what you think." The alien looked at Lena. "You returned her." "That was wise." Lena said nothing. Her hand stayed near her weapon, just in case. The alien walked closer. "She is not a soldier. She is a thinker. A learner. Her ship crashed here by mistake. But your people nearly turned that accident into war." Lena spoke carefully. "Some of us tried to stop that." He nodded again. "We saw that. We chose not to strike, but not all ships agreed." Sira looked up, shocked. "What do you mean?" "Some of our captains believe humans kidnapped you." "They still prepare for war?" Lena asked. "Can you stop them?" The alien answered, "I will try. But now that contact has happened, things have changed. Both your kind and mine will want answers." Sira looked at both of them. "Then maybe we give them answers together." For the first time, no one spoke. The wind moved across the field. Above them, dozens of ships still circled the sky, watching, waiting, and far away. Hidden in deep government vaults, someone else was watching too, someone who had just discovered something strange inside. Sira's crashed ship, a hidden chamber, secret message, and what it said changed everything they thought they knew about Sira. The door was made of smooth metal, unlike anything Earth had seen before. Hidden deep inside the wreckage of Sira's ship, it had no handle, no lock, no code. Just a strange symbol glowing faintly like a star split in two. No one had noticed it before, not until one of the scientists found a power spike coming from the wall. Panel. Dr. Keller stood in front of the chamber now, alone in the hangar. Everyone else had gone for the night. He reached out slowly and touched the symbol. The door opened. Inside, he saw a small floating sphere turning slowly in the air. Light swirled across its surface. He stepped forward and picked it up. It didn't burn. It felt warm, alive. He took it to his lab, scanned it, ran tests, but the data made no sense. Finally, he did what he wasn't supposed to do. He activated it. The sphere lit up and projected a hologram. Not of stars or ships, but of Earth. Destroyed. Not by aliens. Not by war. By itself. Sira's voice came from the device, but it wasn't the Sira they knew. It was older, calm, cold. "If you are hearing this, then the contact has happened. You have found my message. And you must now understand the truth. Earth is important, but not for the reasons you believe. This world holds something hidden. Something old. Something dangerous. I came here not by mistake. But by design." Dr. Keller's heart pounded. He watched as the image zoomed in into Earth's crust, into deep layers of stone, and showed something massive buried there. Something ancient, pulsing. He quickly called Captain Lena. "You need to come see this. Right now." Minutes later, Lena and Sira stood in the lab. The message played again. Sira stared at it, frozen. "I never recorded this," she whispered. "I never said those words." Lena stepped closer. "Then what is this?" Sira's hands shook. "It's me, but not me." Dr. Keller nodded. "That recording isn't from the present. It's from the future." Sira looked at him, confused. "How is that possible?" "I think your ship was more than just a transport. I think it was carrying data from your future. Something or someone sent this message back in time to warn us." Lena asked, "Warn? US of what?" Sira whispered. "Of what lies beneath." Outside, tension between humans and aliens was rising again. Two of the alien captains had refused to leave Earth's orbit. They believed Sira was lying. They believed war was the only answer. Inside the lab, the sphere pulsed again. A new message played. "If they find the core, it will wake." Lena turned to Sira. "What is the core?" Sira didn't answer right away. Her eyes glowed faintly, as if memories were surfacing inside her mind. She looked up. It's not a weapon. It's a mind. A living machine, older than both our species. My ancestors once touched it. It nearly destroyed our world. We hid the knowledge, buried it, forgot it, but somehow Earth found it again. Dr. Keller pointed to the location on the map. This is under one of our old research zones. A place we shut down years ago. We thought it was just a natural magnetic field. But now I think we were wrong. Lena made a choice. We're going there. By nightfall, they reached the site. It was a frozen place, empty, forgotten, buried under ice and rock. The lab had long been abandoned, but the readings were still active. They broke through the old doors and entered the dark halls. Lights flickered weakly. Machines stood silent. Then Sarah stopped. I feel it, Lena asked. Where? Sarah closed her eyes. Below. They took the stairs down, level by level, until they reached a giant steel vault. The ground vibrated slightly. No sound. Just a low, steady pulse like a heartbeat. Dr. Keller scanned the wall. This isn't built by us. This is alien tech. Someone came here before. Lena's voice was cold. Then that means your people knew about this. Sarah looked shocked. No. We were told Earth was unimportant. We were told your world was young. Nobody in our records ever mentioned this place, Lena asked. Then who came here and buried this? Dr. Keller turned to them. Someone who didn't want it found. But they failed. The vault's door hissed. It opened slowly, revealing a giant chamber inside. In the center, a dark structure stood, part machine, part crystal, larger than a house. It didn't move, but it hummed. Sarah stepped forward. This ... is the core. Doctor. Keller's face went pale. If this activates, we don't know what it will do. It could rewrite everything, our minds, our machines, our planet. Lena looked at them both. Then we have to decide destroy it or protect it. Sarah stared. At the core. We may be too late for either. Above them, in the sky, one alien ship broke formation. Its weapons powered up, and deep underground, the core began to glow. The core glowed brighter now. Pale blue light spread across the walls of the chamber. It didn't move, but the air around. It felt heavier, thick, like a storm was forming underground. Captain Lena raised her hand. No one touches it. Sarah stood still, staring into the pulsing light. Something in her eyes changed, like she was remembering something she never lived. Dr. Keller checked his scanner. Energy levels are rising, slowly. It's waking up. Lena turned to Sarah. Can you stop it? Sarah looked at her, confused. I don't know. I don't think it listens to people. Then what does it listen to? I think it listens to thoughts. Suddenly, the walls shook. Not from the core, but from above. Lena's radio crackled. Command to ground team. One of the alien ships is descending fast. It's armed. ETA 3 minutes. Keller cursed. They think we're trying to activate the core. Sarah whispered, or they're trying to stop us before we learn the truth. Lena looked around the chamber. We need answers, now. Dr. Keller rushed to the side wall where a control panel blinked slowly. It was alien, but it responded to touch. A screen opened, showing more holograms. A star map, a timeline. Images of other worlds, ruins, extinctions. Then a single phrase, repeated over and over in multiple languages. The core remembers. The core judges. The core repeats. Sarah stepped forward, translating the alien text. It doesn't just store data. It copies history and replays it. Lena said, that doesn't sound like a weapon. Dr. Keller replied, no, it sounds like a warning. Then the screen changed. It showed a new image Earth. Again. But this time, the core wasn't dormant. It was awake. Machines rose from the oceans. Skies darkened. Cities fell into silence. The core had reshaped the world. Sira stepped back. This already happened. Once before? You mean a different timeline? Lena asked. No, Sira said. This planet, this version. But no one remembers because the core reset everything. Dr. Keller's voice trembled. That's what it does. It studies civilizations. When they reach a certain point, war, collapse, greed, it resets them, erases memory, starts again. Lena clenched her jaw. Then we're next. Before anyone could speak, an alarm blared from their radio. Unknown signal approaching the site. One ship. Alien. Full weapons lock. Lena shouted, "We have to get back to the surface." But Sira didn't move. She was staring at the core, eyes wide. It's talking to me. Dr. Keller stepped toward her. What is it saying? It's asking a question. What question? Sira turned toward them. Is this world worth saving? Then everything went white. The core released a pulse, soft but deep, like a whisper across time. The lights in the base flickered. Machines shut down. The earth shook again. Far above, the alien ship diving toward them paused mid-air. Its weapon shut off, and then it fell. No explosion, no fire. It simply dropped like a stone and crashed into the mountains nearby. Silence. Back in the chamber, Sira collapsed. Keller caught her just before she hit the ground. Lena knelt beside her. What just happened? Sira opened her eyes slowly. It tested them. That ship wanted war. The core removed it. Dr. Keller checked the sphere again. The energies changing. The pulse isn't just growing, it's spreading. To satellites. To data centers. It's reading our history. All of it. Lena looked up. We have to shut it down, now. Sira grabbed her arm. You can't. Why not? Because once it begins the process, it must finish, or it breaks everything. Above ground, more alien ships began to move. Some pulled back. Some powered weapons. The fleet was splitting. One faction wanted peace. The other wanted control, and far away, in a hidden Earth command center, a man named Admiral Wex stood watching the feed. He wasn't surprised by what he saw. He had known about the core for years, and he had a plan. Activate Protocol Zero, he ordered. I don't care what it costs. That core belongs to us. Inside the base, Lena's radio buzzed with a high-priority override signal. This is command. You are ordered to secure the core. Reinforcements inbound. Lethal force authorized if necessary. She looked at Sira. They're going to take it. Sira stood slowly. Then you must decide, Captain. Save your people from what they don't understand, or help them repeat the same mistake again. The core pulsed again, and the countdown began. The countdown ticked silently in the air. No beeps, no alarms. Just a strange pressure, like the world was holding its breath. Captain. Lena stared at the message flashing across the control panel. Core process. 4%. Dr. Keller wiped sweat from his forehead. It's accelerating. Whatever it's doing it faster now. Sira stood near the core, her eyes focused. It's collecting judgment data, not just from machines. From people. Lena narrowed her eyes. What do you mean? It's scanning Earth's decisions, our wars, our peace, our lies, our truth. And now, it's looking at you. Lena stepped back, suddenly feeling exposed. It can read me? Sira nodded slowly. Yes, you're in command. That matters. A voice crackled through the base loudspeaker. This is Colonel Harrow of Earth Fleet Command. You are ordered to stand down. Our forces will secure the artifact in 5 minutes. Resistance will be treated as treason. Lena slammed her fist into the wall. They don't get it. They think this is just a weapon they can steal. Dr. Keller looked up from the console. Worse, they think they can control it. Syrah's hands began to glow again. The core responded, pulsing gently. They're too late. The core won't listen to force. It listens to intention. Outside, the sound of approaching gunships filled the sky. The ground trembled as earth. Soldiers landed near the site. Lena's radio picked up the chatter. Team Alpha, secure the entry point. Team Bravo, move underground. Lethal force authorized. Lena looked at her team. If they fire near the core, no one survives. Not them, not us, not Earth. Syrah stepped forward. Then we must show the core something different. Dr. Keller frowned. Like what? A choice. A true one. Not war, not fear, but sacrifice. Lena's eyes met Syrah's. You're not thinking, I am, Syrah said quietly. If I stay connected to it, maybe I can guide the process. Buy you time. Keep it from reacting. Keller shook his head. You'll die. I'm not sure I'll survive either way. The power inside the chamber grew warmer. The core now pulsed with visible waves of light. Data streamed across the room in symbols too fast to read. Core process. 17%. The first soldiers reached the lower levels. Lena turned to Keller. Seal the doors. Slow them down. He hesitated. They'll break through in minutes. Then buy me too. She ran to the radio console and switched frequencies. This is Captain Lena Torres. Do not fire. Repeat. Do not engage near the core. You're risking planetary extinction. No reply. Then a familiar voice came through. This is Admiral Wex. You are relieved of duty. Return to surface and hand over the alien and the artifact. Lena stepped closer to the mic. She's not a threat. And this artifact is not a weapon. It's a test. We are failing it, Wex replied coldly. That's not your call to make. Syrah touched the core again. The lights dimmed. Suddenly, the entire base was filled with sound, not voices. Not music, but memories. Lena heard screams, laughter, protests, speeches, the sounds of war. The cries of peace. All at once, Syrah gasped. It's showing us everything. Every ending it's ever seen. Every world that came before us. Dr. Keller whispered, so many died because they chose the same thing. Control, fear, domination. Then the core stopped. Everything went still. Core process. 38%. Awaiting input. One phrase appeared on the wall, glowing in human language. What is your species' final answer? Lena looked around. What do we say? Syrah stepped forward. We don't speak, we act. She turned to Lena. Let me stay connected. Let them take me if they must. Show the core something it's never seen. Trust. Lena looked down at her weapon. Then slowly dropped it to the floor. Dr. Keller hesitated. Then did the same. Above, soldiers stormed the chamber door, but stopped when they saw them unarmed. Lena raised her hands. We're not fighting. The core is asking a question. You can help answer it, or destroy us all. The soldiers hesitated. One lowered his gun. Then another. Only one man kept his weapon raised. Colonel Harrow stepped into the light. This is a trick. She's controlling your minds. Syrah stared at him. You fear what you don't understand. That's what the core sees. He pointed the gun at her. Then let it see this. He pulled the trigger, but the bullet never hit. It froze in mid-air. Then turned to dust. The core responded instantly. Light filled the room, bright, endless, blinding. Then darkness. And silence. When Lena opened her eyes, the chamber was gone. They were somewhere else, floating in a space full of stars, memory, and thought. A voice, not from Syrah, not from anyone, spoke. Inside their minds, you were given a chance. One act tipped the scale. One spark changed the answer. They looked around. Syrah was standing in the light, smiling. I think we passed. Asterisk, the light faded slowly. Captain Lena blinked. Her feet touched solid ground again, but it wasn't the same chamber. The walls were gone. The sky above was deep black, filled with stars, too many stars. None of them looked familiar. It wasn't Earth, but it wasn't a dream either. Syrah stood beside her, unharmed, glowing gently. Dr. Keller was there too, trying to understand the strange surface beneath them. It felt like stone, but it shimmered. Like liquid. This isn't a vision, Keller said. This is real. Somehow the core moved us. Lena looked around. Where are we? Syrah closed her eyes. Somewhere between. A place where the core speaks clearly. It brings those who pass the test here, not to reward, but to reveal. A voice echoed in the sky, not loud, but impossible to ignore. You chose restraint over violence, curiosity over fear. One choice is not enough, but it is a beginning. A massive shape formed in the sky. It wasn't a ship. It was a machine the size of a moon, half organic, half metal, covered in ancient patterns. It turned slowly, like it had been asleep for thousands of years. Keller gasped. That's another core. Syrah nodded. The original. Lena stepped forward. How many are there? The voice replied, 13 across known space. Placed by the first civilization. Left behind to test those who follow. Syrah asked, test for what? For balance, the voice said. You create, you destroy, you love, you hate. But can you rise above instinct? Can you choose peace without forgetting war? Can you grow without conquering? Lena looked up. And if we can't? Then you begin again like the others. Dr. Keller stepped back. So this is your game? Watch civilizations rise and fall? Judge them like insects? No, the voice said. We are not your judges. You are your own. We only show you the pattern. Syrah turned to Lena. The Earth wasn't chosen by accident. Your world is one of the few with the potential to break the pattern. Lena frowned. Why? Because your history is fractured, Syrah said. Your people don't agree. They argue. They resist control. That chaos, your weakness, is also your strength. Most advanced species become too united, too ordered. They stop changing. Dr. Keller whispered, so Earth is different? Syrah smiled. Unpredictable. The voice returned, quieter now. One question remains. Will you carry this knowledge? Or bury it again? Lena asked. What happens if the truth spreads? That is your choice. But truth brings fear, and fear brings chaos. Be sure you are ready. A light formed in front of them, a path. Return now. But remember, this was only the first gate. Suddenly, the stars blinked. The ground shifted. And in 1 second, they were back inside the base chamber. The core was dark again. The alien soldiers had fallen back. Earth's troops stood in confusion. No one had fired. No one moved. Lena looked at Syrah. Did they see it too? No, she said softly. Only us. Dr. Keller checked the control panel. The countdown's gone. The core shut itself down. No radiation. No signals. Just silence. Syrah stepped toward it. It gave Earth a chance, a warning, and maybe an invitation. Lena turned to the others. No one touches this again. Not until we understand what we're protecting. Above them, the alien ships began to pull away, one by one. The threat of war had passed for now. Back on the surface, news of what happened began to leak. People asked questions. Governments gave quiet answers. But the truth, what really happened underground, was kept secret, at least for now, Lena. Syrah and Keller returned to the skies in silence. The mission was over, but none of them felt peace. They had passed the first test, but the galaxy was far bigger than they had imagined. And somewhere beyond the stars, something else had just taken notice. The stars looked different now. Lena stood alone on the observation deck, high above Earth. The station hovered in low orbit, silent and still. Below, the planet spun slowly, glowing blue and green. Peaceful, fragile. It had been 3 weeks since the core shut down. 3 weeks since humanity stood on the edge of destruction and turned back. The official story was simple: a misunderstanding, a peaceful resolution. The alien fleet had withdrawn. Earth returned to routine. But those who had been in the chamber knew the truth. The test was real, and it wasn't over. Sira entered the room quietly. Her steps were light, but Lena noticed them right away. "You still don't sleep much," Sira said softly. Lena smiled without turning. "You either." They stood side by side, looking down at the world they had nearly lost. Sira spoke carefully. "There's been movement among the other alien fleets. New alliances forming. Old enemies talking. Word about Earth is spreading. Good or bad? Unclear? Some fear your unpredictability. Others admire it." Lena turned. "And your people? They're watching, learning. Our leaders still argue over what to do next." Lena chuckled. "They sound like humans." Sira looked at her seriously. "That might be a good sign." Dr. Keller joined them moments later. He carried a small case. Inside it, the sphere from the core still glowed faintly, its energy quiet, but never fully gone. "I ran one last scan," he said. "It's not dead, just waiting." Lena frowned. "For what?" "For the next step," he said. "Whatever that means." They stood in silence for a while. Then a soft alarm beeped. A new signal had arrived. Not from Earth, not from the alien fleet, from deep space, farther than any probe had ever gone. A message. Strange, rhythmic, layered in time. Lena turned to the screen. "Translate it." The system struggled. Symbols shifted. Then words appeared. "You passed the first gate. Are you ready for the second?" Sira stepped forward. "That's not from the cores." Keller nodded. "No, this is different. Older or newer. We don't know." Lena looked at them both. "If there's a second gate, then there's more to this. More tests, more watchers." Keller asked, "What if the galaxy is full of these?" Sira whispered, "Then maybe every intelligent world has a path. And most of them never make it past the beginning." Lena closed the message. "Then we do what humans always do." Keller raised an eyebrow. "Which is?" She looked out at the stars again. "We go forward. Scared, unready, but still forward." Sira smiled. That might be enough. In the sky above them, a faint new light appeared, moving slowly, pulsing. Like a heartbeat. A new gate. A new journey. And far beyond. In the dark corners of the universe, ancient eyes opened once again. They had seen many rise. They had watched even more fall. Now, they would watch Earth.